The deadly condo collapse in Surfside, Florida is raising serious questions about the impact of subsidence, the shifting and sinking of coastal land. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Cherise Gibson. Hearing that subsidence may be connected to the condo collapse in Florida made us think about our own issues with the land sinking in coastal Louisiana.
Right, and it certainly is. And David Hammer talked to geologists and structural engineers. And about what he found about the stability of our big buildings may surprise you.
Investigations are underway in Miami to determine what caused the 13-story Champlain Towers South to fall last week, leaving more than 160 people dead or missing. The focus has been on the building's foundation, and a Florida International University report from last year has gotten a lot of attention because it focused on subsidence, or sinking land, along South Florida's barrier islands.
And that building sat right on top of a very discrete hotspot of higher subsidence rates.
That raised concerns for Chris McClendon, the former president of the New Orleans Geological Society.
Such a stunning event. I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Think about New Orleans' own subsidence problems: sinkholes, caving streets, shifting home foundations. But surprisingly, geologists and structural engineers tell us the New Orleans area is actually in much better shape than coastal Florida when it comes to the stability of large buildings.
About 70 feet below the city, we have a very firm, dense clay at the top of the Pleistocene surface.
Pleistocene is firm, clay-like land that was on the surface a few million years ago. It's still there, but now it's buried under the Holocene layer, the soft mud and river deposits that filled in during the last 15,000 years or so. In downtown New Orleans, that's about 70 feet. Uptown, it's around 90 feet. Buildings and bridges here are built on pilings, driven down as far as necessary to lodge solidly into the Pleistocene layer.
All major buildings in New Orleans are designed that way, to be, driven to refusal in the Pleistocene.
Just look at the new airport. The new $1 billion terminal is very stable, sitting on pilings in the Pleistocene. But as we exposed in this Katie Moore investigation in 2019, sewer pipes under the terminal were not properly secured to the building, and they broke due to subsidence.
Sewer lines are literally just hanging off the bottom of the building because the soil isn't competent enough to support even the weight of those lines.
So the news in New Orleans is good, but McClendon says there's still lessons we can learn from the tragedy in Florida.
We need to collect more data. We need to know how the rates of subsidence are varying across the surface, and then start digging in and figuring out why that is.
He hopes to see more funding for a University of New Orleans and Louisiana Geological Society subsidence mapping project. It can do a lot to tell us if our buildings are really on solid ground. David Hammer, Eyewitness News.
We also had a deadly high-rise collapse here, the Hard Rock Hotel, in 2019, but that was a totally different situation from the one that we're talking about here in Florida, because that condo in Miami was 40 years old and it appeared to collapse from the bottom up. Now, the Hard Rock was still under construction, fell from the top, and you remember the video, steel floors down. Its concrete foundation was not affected.